Oh no, the sheriff tryouts are today. And I haven't even started training yet. Huh?
When they try to throw you under, and they're out to steal your thunder. Gotta make them recognize you're being it's time to rise tonight, dancing at the edge of the fire. Dancing at the edge of the fire. Tonight, living like a bird on a wire. Oh, tonight, taking a chance and you're giving it all that you got. Tonight, you'll make it 'cause I know you're a fighter.
And that's why I would be a great sheriff. Oh, pillager judge. Oh my gosh. Was that your husband? And your child's here as well. Oh no. I guess I'm not going through, right? Alright, I'll see myself out. Well, I guess it can't be the sheriff, but at least we can study this quantum battery, which seems to be pretty impressive. We can do all sorts of crazy, unbelievable things. Unfortunately, I have drained this one completely dead during that wonderful montage. So we'll have to figure out a way to recharge this thing. But in the meantime, welcome back to Channel 64. Today, we're going to go ahead and tackle the storage problem that we have, because it's a mess in there. So let's head into my base and take a look at this shulker box mess that we have to clean up. So as I mentioned before, we still have quite a few shulker boxes laying around from all the concrete and whatnot that I've been creating for that last mega project. Lots of stuff to put away. Problem is we have shulker boxes in barrels, in chests, literally everywhere. And unfortunately, this storage system that I built in the foot of the Met is sorely overflowing, and we really need to get this into something a little bit more permanent. That's where I'm going to go ahead and start working on our mega base. Well, at least going to be working on the storage system for our mega base. And then that'll be a nice place to centralize all of the storage of everything that we have, because right now things are not only separate or spread out in here in lots of shulker boxes, including this right here, which is a mangrove tree farm that I've had the supplies for months. It's just been sitting here. We'll find a place for that eventually. But not only is it inside of this, but we also have stuff spread out in the farms that are below the base and the farms that are on the roof of the nether and elsewhere. So it would be nice to have that all centralized in a single spot. Speaking of which, we should probably check on the farms down below here. Now I know this melon and pumpkin farm, yeah, it's producing, that's for sure. I have not really had a use for all of these melons, but I've been basically taking these and shoving them up into our composting system here, which we need to actually get a faster one of that because it is quite slow with the amount of melons it's got to process. Quite a few cactus as well. And like I said, this is all temporary. We're going to be probably setting up much bigger farms in the new base location at some point. But right now, I just want to kind of get this stuff so that not overflowing, so that we're actually producing more and more bone meal for when we eventually need it. And we don't have a ton right now. Honestly, it's probably cheaper to go buy it at the moment, but it is producing. Same with our wheat farm here, which is already overflowing again out of this first chest. And we have a ton of wheat stored up, so that'll come in handy when we start building with mud blocks. Speaking of things that we need to kind of change up in mud blocks, we're going to be tearing down this zombie grinder since we have 2 better sources of XP as it is. And it's kind of an eyesore, despite my initial early attempts to make it somewhat fit in. It doesn't. It's pretty bad. So we'll probably go ahead and torch that so that it doesn't spawn anymore, just in case someone wants to utilize the zombie spawner. All right, much better now that that's gone. So I just went ahead and deactivated that and kind of blended in the landscape here. So now we have more real estate for folks to build new buildings like this house. This is brand new. All right, now with that cleaned up, we can head on over to our mega base location and start the build on our storage system. Anyways, this is our mega base location. Not too much in the way of a mega base yet, but we will be transforming this mountain and the surrounding area into our mega base. But for now, we have a few things we need to attend to. So starting with a storage system, which is going to be the cornerstone of being organized for the rest of the season, because I tell you, not having a storage system will kind of suck. And so I've earmarked right now a entrance right here that I'm going to probably carve into the mountain to build that storage system. And apparently we also need to do some more lighting as well underneath this cliffside, because we have friends that we don't want hanging around this place. Kind of riffraff we don't need here. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into this a bit and see what we can do as far as putting together a storage system. All right, well, so much for a progress update. It's done. Whoops. Anyways, so this is my storage system. I've dug everything out and I've put everything back. We have a couple friends that we met along the way that are going to turn into some villagers for a brand new breeder. This is just some of the chests of things that I've pulled out of this area. So lots and lots of stone, and we have a lot more in my inventory as well. I'm slowly loading stuff into the system. So this is a design that's based off of Mazuma Games, which is adapted by Baguetti. And I built this in the past. I did this time expand it even more. So now it's got, 6 double chests per slice versus just the 4 that were in there before. And then, of course, the number of slices has increased up to 37. So that allows me to have one that's empty for any 120 items that are coming down the pipeline, as well as anything I decide that I may need later on, maybe like food or something like that. On the other side, we have our bulk storage. So all of our different log types are going to be over here. We have sections for full shulker boxes and empty shulker boxes, which will end up there through our multi-item sorting system. Our unsortable things are going to be right there. So that'll let me know if I'm missing any of the filter items or whatnot. Empty slices over here for bulk storage for future farm developments. Right now, I don't know what I necessarily need to store here in bulk, but we'll see when we start generating items, maybe slime, maybe gunpowder, something like that. If we end up with a ton of it, we do have some at our farms. We might consider bringing over here different stone types. We have most of the stone types over here. So I've got my cobblestone, stone, deep slate, sand, gravel, tuff, granite, and andesite. Don't have diorite because I don't normally keep a lot of that. But if I need diorite, I can always put it in one of these. So that's going to be that. It all inputs through this head of Mega Man right here. So we throw our items into the water streams and then ends up in an unloading system down below. So it goes through all this, it unloads it if it's in a shulker box. So you can see I've got some redstone torches being unloaded from the shulker box here. It's not exactly super quick, but it is pretty accurate. So those are being unloaded and going up through the multi-item sorting system. When this is done being unloaded, you'll see this break, and then that empty shulker box will end up with the empty shulker boxes. And then, of course, everything up top then ends up, like I said, in that sorting system. Getting all disoriented here. Where it goes through these different filters that we have set up to basically filter everything through. So you'll see right now we've got stuff going into our redstone slice. So that's right here. And I noticed that my redstone torch is missing. So that's going to be... It's pulled out to trigger that, and then now it's deposited off. So that's good. And then, of course, we have different categories. So we've got our redstone, we've, warm and cool colored stone, deep slate copper, sandstone, quartz, refined ores, seeds and crops, decoration items, lights, prismarine, and undersea things, so like coral, mob drops. We have warped and crimson stuff in there, so the different warp wart and nether wart, that type of stuff. Blackstone, other nether things, endstone and purple, all the different wood types, so all the stuff that goes along with that, including leaves, flowers, and other decoration plant items. Full block like plant things, so like grass, dirt. We have the azalea stuff in there. Dyes and ink, ore blocks, wool, terracotta, concrete, glass, mud, ice and snow, as well as skulk, and this is empty. So lots and lots of stuff. Almost all the items in the game, I think, are going to be in there. Still going through the debugging process. We are having some trouble with some of these that have items that stack up to 16. So my decoration items, for example, should be having the chests I put in there going there, but for some reason they're ending up in here. So I think that may be an issue of just not enough of the filter items being dropped off there. As you can see right here by the lights, we have this one filling up. So as you can see, prismarine bricks are going in. I do like the light show that this creates, showing me where stuff is going, which is kind of cool. So it's typically going to stop before the one it's dropping in. So we're going to see a full stack, and then, oop, disappeared. Pretty cool. Super fast. And they'll move on to the next item until everything is empty, and then we can just keep throwing things in there. This came out super great. I wanted to go for like a modern vibe in here, so a little bit industrial. I have this kind of cyan bluish color that I'm worked through here that kind of resembles the aesthetic of Dr. Light's lab. I didn't really want to make it a lab, but it's kind of sort of like a power center or something like that. So we have now glass going in there. That's pretty cool. You have these conduits that are glowing down below, and then you see this different kind of wiring going across to our light systems here. Now these indicate whether there's objects in these chests. So for example, I've started to move over the stones, so we have, you know, this light indicating there's stone in that chest. I redesigned these bulk storage systems just this time around. I made it much smaller than my previous design, and now it works for every single level, and it reads off the chest, which is pretty cool. Very easy to do. You just have basically a comparator going into, you know, in this case, we have some redstone dust into this target block to do this light. The one below it is literally just a redstone comparator going into a block, which then powers that. So you just stack these up for each slice, and you're good to go. And like I said, we have room for future expansion, and of course, convenient stone cutters and crafting tables pretty much everywhere so that we can make our items as quickly as possible, gather our materials for our projects as quickly as possible. Anything to make things easier and quicker is the goal. Well, that's all the time we have left for this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything, and I hope to see you back soon for more craziness on the Channel 64 SMP. Until next time, everyone, safe travels.